Gandhi told his wife that, we're nothing special, even though that we're leaders of a movement. You still have to clean the toilet. We don't need slaves to do that. So I'm kind of like the same way. I'm talking about technology, and I get my hands dirty with it. And I was a leading pioneer in this field, and the history is not quite written about it. The history is not quite known about it yet, but we're still into the nitty-gritty right now, and we're still dealing with the fact that we put out our ideas, it's free expression, and what's going to become of it. Okay, I put my videos out there, first of all. Just like you, if there's some of us that are viewers, we don't make videos, and there's some of us that only make videos and we don't watch anything else. So there's two extremes, but a person who's pretty balanced, they'll watch a whole bunch of videos and then they're making their own videos, and you go from watching to producing, watching to producing. And what's basically going on is we're leaving a record, documentation, video documentation of ourselves, and it can be there to be analyzed by whoever might come along. So you think that's not going on, but it is going on, okay? And as I said in my previous video a couple days ago or yesterday, it's easier for the analysis to take place on Facebook and Twitter and sites like that. Any of the sites that rely mostly on text, they're the ones that they are concentrating on analyzing, because it's much more easy and efficient to deal with that. Now when it comes to video, it's a problematic technology, because even though it's a gold mine of information, it's extremely difficult to analyze. So they're not going to rely on it. They're going to put specialists on it. And there's somebody watching this right now. There's probably a team watching this as soon as it comes out. There's a censor at Google with their finger on the button in case I do anything wrong. They have to listen, and they have to see what I'm saying. And you see, I'm giving them a direct reference right now. Hi, you're doing your job. See, but the thing is, they realize this guy's smart. He's probably not doing any crazy trouble. We see him do these outrageously wild videos with knives and guns and this and that, but nothing really can be substantiated because I still exist. I've existed from the beginning, and I continue on. But when they do analyze it, they have to see if there's going to be like a red flag, or there's going to be a threat. Like if I came out here and I did something completely outrageous, even for me, like if I crossed the lines, and I draw my fine lines around me, lines in the sand, red lines or whatever you want to call them, the symbology of it, and I don't cross that. I might talk about the line itself and give a hypothetical, but for the most part I never really cross the line, not even into hate, not even into copyright issues, not even into outright rebellion and attacks on the system. I don't cross those lines, but I talk about those lines, and I talk about what's at stake and the odds. And actually I can do that. I can do that until some dark alternative future, alternative universe to where they, possibly they would think they need to stop that. If the thought police, analyze the video and want to say like this guy can't go on. He's a threat. He's waking up people. See, that's the thing. If I was to get enough traffic, enough exposure, and people would get to understand what I'm telling them, it would become a threat, because they would become like me. They would start to apply it. You would start to apply the knowledge and the awareness that I have. And when you apply it, the whole world would become revolutionary. We would have a radical transformation and create this new world that I'm talking about through technology, instead of technology trying to clamp down on us. People are using technology right now to clamp down on changes, on awareness, on revolution. Let me talk specifics now, okay? Because I said that they can analyze text. Text is basically content. Another way of saying what's on a website, what's in your social network. They automatically form a list of who your contacts are, contacts, your friends. From that, they can draw up diagrams and see who's connected to who. And from an educational standpoint, this is great to understand how we are as humans, who we connect to, what the interests are, what the criteria is, and see this interdependency. That's science. But unfortunately, the abuse of that is to market things to you. And this becomes a nuisance and privacy concern, because this is outrightly admitted. It's not like the government spying, but it's the capitalistic spying. And this already is bad enough. And if they could do that with my videos itself, and try to market to me and my viewers, they are doing that. But they're doing it based on text and titles. They're doing it based on where you surf. They track you wherever you go online. And then when you're on any Google influenced site, it shows you what they think you want to buy. You know, they have these algorithms to translate your activity. This is all technological. It's all technological. So on the next video, I'm just going to get really into the crazy stuff with you. I'm going to tell you what technology is out there, and I'm going to give you scenarios that are actually quite real as to what's going on. It's going to show you what's up with this crazy new, brave new cyber world out there, this cyberspace dystopia. Make sure you comment on this. Go check out the whole series. I'm going to do part 4 next. Share this, like, and make sure you're subscribed, because YouTube is flawed.